Welcome to Mediocre Gaming, and today we're playing Tom Clancy's The Division. So here's a couple tips if you're running in the Dark Zone and you're worried about running into some other players that are going to go rogue or may go rogue. Now in 1.8, it is a good idea to run with a disruptor sticky or disruptor grenades. They work really well against skill builds, but they also work really well against striker builds, because it prevents them from getting additional stacks. Now it does work on other any classification because they aren't able to use any of their skills, but it does work especially well on the ones that I just mentioned: skill builds, tacticians, firecrest, and strikers. Now what if you're on the other side of it? What if someone's trying to disrupt you because you're using one of those builds? You're using a skill build or you're using strikers. Well, knee pads can have a slot for disrupt resistance up to 33%, and your backpack has a slot for disrupt resistance. You'll lose your extra ammo. But like I said, if you're running a skill build, it's a good idea to have disrupt resistance on at least one piece. Now, disruptor can also be protected against by using adrenaline, because they'll give you immunity for 7 seconds, either right before you get disrupted or right after. Now, if one of your skills gets disrupted, like a turret, then you're still going to be without that turret or support station until the disrupt wears off, and disrupt resistance does not extend to your skills, so it'll be disrupted for the full time. Now the other thing to consider is that using a disrupt sticky will take up one of your skill slots. So if you're running Firecrest, you're obviously not going to be running with a disruptor sticky, because you're going to have a flame turret as one of them, and you can't really run around the Dark Zone without first aid or a support station, so you're kind of stuck if you're running Firecrest. And if you're running another build, you'll have to run one heal skill and then the disrupt sticky, which means that you'll lose your pulse or whatever else you're using that you normally use. So you'll have to weigh the pros and cons of using disrupt sticky. Now, why don't I just say, why don't you just use the EMP grenade? Well, first of all, you don't have an unlimited supply of EMP grenades. Second of all, if you're running up against someone using Final Measure, it's not going to help you at all. So it's best to use it in a group of 4, or at least 2, where one of you uses a disrupt sticky and the other person uses what they normally use, and then you can each have a heal skill to share. If you're running by yourself, consider trying using a disrupt sticky and see how it works out, especially in rogue prone areas. So if you know, because you've already gotten ganked by rogue agents before and you're worried about it happening again, you should certainly think about using a disrupt sticky, especially if those other agents are using strikers, which is pretty common in the Dark Zone. I've run into a lot of people that run strikers. I don't know what your experience is, but it would certainly be helpful in that regard. Anyway, I hope you find this useful and informative. Thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.